Emily Cheng, and I've been painting my entire life. I started painting when I was in 5th grade, and I haven't stopped.
So about this painting, just like describe generally what we're looking at here.
So this painting was done during the pandemic. I was missing nature, and I decided to just do a whole bunch of paintings about trees. This is one of them. This is an oak leaf that stands for a tree, so it's a little bit like a synecdoche, part of a whole, right? And at the same time, I was also thinking about how scientists have discovered that the trees talk to each other, and they send nutrients to the ones that are sick. And they can also they can send poisonous chemicals to the wound if a tree is growing too close to them. And it's fascinating. I could talk for a long time about this subject. But so I wanted to make a painting that had to do with reaching up and going down, like a axis mundi, of a bridge between heaven and earth.
And a lot of your paintings have that theme, like the relationship between like the person and the universe.
Right.
Where does that theme come from?
So that theme comes from the study of Taoism, and I started studying Taoism maybe 10 years ago, and I find that it's a great way to contextualize your little life with a larger, with something that's much bigger than yourself. And I think that putting that perspective, like you zoom back and you look at your life, creating that perspective creates a balance in your life. We get very involved in our own little problems, right? And those little problems seem so insurmountable. But if you step back and look at it from a distance, it gets smaller and smaller. And if you really get off planet and go to, looking almost down at the Earth, you see what we're doing on Earth much clearer. But what's so interesting is that Palo Alto, like I've met so many scientists, and they understand my paintings like that. And it seems like the people who understand the painters are the visual ones who have more an internal awareness, and then there's the scientists, and they're both thinking big. So one is thinking big by going in, the other's thinking big by going out, and somehow it ends up in the same place. This painting was done after a trip to Iceland, and they have these enormous towers. We have them here in the States. I've seen them driving from Nevada to California, and they're a little bit like figures. They stand like this, right? Yeah. And so I was just thinking about the tower being a sender and a receiver. I think that as humans, we don't develop our sending and receiving so much because we're so verbally oriented. We're logocentric, and what that does is it blocks us from being able to perceive things that's coming at us in another form of communication, form of energy, right?
Almost like sixth sense, kind of like that.
It's sixth sense, or sometimes we're even disconnected from our gut. Like a lot of times we have gut feelings about things and we override them with our logic. Oh, it can't be this, it can't be that because of blah, blah, blah. But the gut is really a master, and we're just like pushing aside the master. Intuition too, This green, by the way, which is it's from a Taoist talisman. It's made for healing people. So this is a figure that's receiving and sending, right? I mean, that's how I think of it. And then this talisman is it's like taking, from the lower chakras up to like this, which could be like the third eye or the crown chakra, and giving us sight, giving us connection. These paintings they were conceived in a very intuitive way, and I only understand the meaning of these paintings after I paint them. I don't always understand exactly what I'm doing while I'm doing it.
Oh, so you don't plan your paintings at all, or
I do hundreds of drawings, but I will bring one drawing here, one and then put together, and I don't always know why I'm putting together certain images. I just think like there's something inside me that says, yeah, this is right.
Right.
For whatever reason, I find the younger generation is able to understand my work in a way that some people in the older generation have trouble with, because they don't. I'm not really sure. I'm still trying to figure it out. but it's quite interesting. Yeah, they're meant to be paintings that everybody approaches them in their own way. There is no right or wrong. You just have to open yourself. You have to allow the painting to speak to you. That's it. And then you will get whatever it is that you get. And you might feel it in your body first. And then your mind can talk to your body. So it's a dialogue. It's a dialogue between your body, your mind, and the painting.
All right, so just to start, why don't you introduce the artist and generally like what we're looking at here?
Okay. The artist's name is Xu Hong Ming, and he's based in Beijing. And he's one of the few pioneering contemporary Chinese, I think, abstract Chinese artists. So his ambition is to basically contribute something to the abstract art with the Chinese philosophy and culture and aesthetics.
Right. So sort of a merge of Western and Eastern.
Yes, exactly. So if you look at the art, you probably can sense some of the traditional Chinese ink art, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But there is a difference. Maybe you can tell me, and you feel any difference like between those work or traditional Chinese painting?
Well, it's definitely more abstract. You can't really tell what it is. Like you can kind of try to make out what it is, but it's not really clear.
Right. So his focus is not on image, and he's actually almost very decisively to reject the imagery attachment. So for example, all those work are titled just by the date he started to paint the work. So what he said is, first, with this date, it has no hint for you to think, if I say the morning sun, then you would think you would go to that direction. But here, I just give you a date, 2019, July 19th. Okay, well, you basically have no way to attach to an image.
Yeah.
And he actually said something like that, I don't want to copy the visible thing for you to see, but I'm trying to make the invisible to be seen.
Right.
So if you have something there, you start to think, oh, that looks like a human body, that looks like a face, but now you have nothing to think, so your mind will still down. But then you look at it, you do have the feeling. You look at the color, you look at all this subtle change, you can feel it's like something's constantly, almost like a brewing there.
Sort of just experiencing.
Yes. So you can feel the Chinese philosophy. It's not so well defined. It's not so clearly, confidently. If you look at his work, there's no fixed perspective point. So his perspective point could just move. That's the Chinese culture, the Taoism, Buddhism. I think all that basically inspires him and he wants people to jump from just clearly just get to the abstract realm, to feel about life, to think, to feel the philosophy, to feel the universe of the world.
And I see like between his art and also Emily Cheng's art outside, there's kind of a theme of like the universe and movement.
You got it.
Is that
Yes,
the idea?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad actually you saw it. And so between Emily's, we also call her work abstract, but you can see images, you can see shape, and Xu Hong Ming is hard to grab it. But they all have this, the philosophy about the universe, the constantly change, the everlasting.
The Taoism.
Yeah, all kind of Taoism or just the universe. I think sometimes the artists, most people believe the artists, they know everything or they know something and they just present to us like information. For me, I think artists most time, they are also sincerely exploring life, and they put that in the artwork. Not like they know answer all the time. They are exploring it. So when you look at the work, if you feel it, you can sense their exploration. And sometimes it resonates to some certain things. Sometimes, different people have totally different response. That is a power of art. That's why I want to open this gallery. I want kids, I want young people to just have the opportunity to be exposed, to expose themselves to art, to be immersed in the art environment. So you can see things. Some people, like some adults come and they say that I don't understand. I cannot, sense anything. I said it's because you have been isolated from art for too long, because we are all born to know art.
To be
art
creative.
is part of art. It's inside of us if we don't suppress it.